Good evening. This is about the Russia-Ukraine conflict. As a former White House correspondent for Poland, a broadcast journalist, probably the most banned and feared broadcast journalist in Poland, of Poland, and currently as President of the United States of Poland, and also a Polish citizen, an American citizen, but also, and first and foremost, citizen of our great Western civilization, I hereby propose a peace plan for Ukraine and the mediation of the Russia-Ukraine conflict in order to bring peace and stability and resulting prosperity to the region. First, let me just show you a little bit background information that's for our journalistic friends and colleagues. This is a map of Europe after the First World War. Do you see Ukraine here? No. Let's look at the same map of Europe before the First War, or the Great War as it used to be called. Do you see Ukraine here? No again. Let's roll back 3 centuries ago. Do you see Ukraine here? No. You don't see Ukraine because, in fact, Ukraine has never been a state until only 31 years ago. Poland is 1,000 years old. Russia is just about the same. Does any of you intelligent, highly educated journalists know who Mieszko I is? Here he is, the first ruler of Poland, baptized, 966. Does any of you politicians know who Vladimir the Great is, or Vladimir I? Here he is. He is the one who baptized Kiev and Rus. Poland and Russia became Christian nations over 1,000 years ago. Now, where Vladimir I was baptized, you remember, in Crimea. There is a St. Vladimir's Cathedral in Crimea. So visit this place before you start writing your stories about Russian annexation of Crimea, please. Vladimir the Great returned to Kiev, and the Christianization of state of Kiev and Rus occurred. That is why, my colleagues and friends, Kiev, today is Ukraine's capital, is called Russia's sacred city and mother of all Russian cities. Now, how about Poland? Does any one of you know where Lwów is and what Lwów is? Here it is. It's right here in Ukraine. Do you know that it used to be the 3rd largest city of pre-war Poland? Our grandfathers lay in tombs in Lwów cemeteries. My secretary's grandmother, as I just learned, was born in Tarnopol. That's in today's Ukraine. And remember Podole, now in Ukraine? Kamieniec-Podolski fortress. You know what Kamieniec-Podolski is? That's what Pułaski defended, that fortress. Kazimierz Pułaski, who emigrated to America and saved George Washington's life, only to die later in combat in the sands of Savannah for freedom, ours and yours. Kamieniec-Podolski for Poles is what Alamo is for Texans, except that Alamo Mission of San Antonio is still in Texas, and Kamieniec-Podolski is in Ukraine. And think about it, or look it up, journalists, before you write your stupid stories about Eastern European conflict which you don't understand. Ukraine, as we know it, was created 31 years ago by politicians who, with a stroke of a pen, removed centuries of history from maps of Eastern Europe in disregard of history, will of people, and nations past. And this is what the conflict is all about. It's not about NATO expansion, it's not about Russia's aggression, it's about a nation who is strong enough to return to its roots, where it all had begun. And the wheels of history in time always turn along that axis. And just look at the Yugoslavia. It used to be creation of politicians. So it broke up in wars, dividing the land among nations with similar history, speaking the same language, believing the same God. And look at these nations now. They thrive and prosper, not starve and fight. So let me now tell you what lies ahead. What's the future of Ukraine-Russia conflict? Russia will go after its sacred land in Ukraine. Not only that, Poland will do the same. It's only a matter of time and means. There will never be peace in Ukraine until these land disputes are settled. This is not about Mr. Putin or Mr. Biden or NATO or any politician. It's all about history. The settlement of the land disputes related to Ukraine is written in future history books. It just has to be this way. But these problems can be solved now if they are solved according to the will of the people who inhabit these lands, sacred for many. So my plan to settle the Ukraine-Russia conflict is based on my nation returning to its roots model. And here's my proposal. Ukraine shall be divided into 3 sectors controlled by a peacekeeping force of Russia in the eastern Ukraine, Poland in western part called Wojna, and a UN peacekeeping force in between, consisting of nations willing to put their troops in between the 2 sectors. Second, in these 3 sectors, referenda shall be conducted to decide whether the people of Ukraine want to exist as an independent state or create autonomous republics within what currently is known as Ukraine. These states or federations should unite people of the same history, language, political sympathies, or even business interests to avoid future conflicts. When that process is completed, a new state should emerge. I'd call it the United States of Ukraine, comprising of 3 autonomous federations with 1 joint government and 1 president elected in a free and honest presidential election. So this is my proposal. As a political scientist, I counted 26 different factors that impact that model. So in other words, there's 26 different scenarios of what might happen from now on. And guess what? You can do the same. Try to do the same. You have political scientists. Do the same. And you will see that all these 26 models lead to war, except for one. That one that I'm just proposing. So it breaks my heart to see Ukrainian men and women preparing for war they're about to lose, with great loss of life and human suffering.
Ordinary civilians are preparing to defend their country. For now, wood cut out guns and sticks will have to suffice.
Я згодна без кляти. Якщо буде якісь, то я буду захищати свій дім, своє місто, своїх дітей. Я піду на це, бо я вже, знаєте, мабуть, созріла. Бо не хочеться віддавати комусь свою країну, своє місто.
With that war, when that war begins, you will see a flood of Ukrainian refugees pushing over Poland's eastern border, creating a human crisis on a scale which my homeland has never seen before. And therefore, as a preemptive measure, as President of the United States of Poland, I urge Poland's parliament to dispatch a contingent of Polish peacekeeping troops to enter our former Lwów voivodeship, and with the support of our American allies, set up temporary camps for Ukrainian refugees. I repeat, that has to be done not in Poland, but in Ukraine, or this conflict will spill into Poland, creating international crisis with a now known outcome. I am positive that Mr. Zelensky will not reject such offer of help from Ukraine's friendly neighbor. We are one people, we are all Christians, we all believe in God who created this world for all of us to live in peace with each other. We are Christians. We care about all members of our Western civilization. And Russia is our people. Russia is our Western culture. Russia is with us. And we all shall stay united to build and prosper and not to fight and destroy. We must stop being the enemies of the past and become friends of our future. I will forward this proposal to President of Russia, Vladimir Putin, and the President of the United States, Joe Biden, our colleagues in the Polish Parliament. Thank you very much. May God bless the United States of Poland, and may God bless our great Western civilization. Thank you, and good night.